again, I'm always honored and privileged to be here with the Exchange Club. I see so many friends, Louis Wall and I were running around in South Augusta talking about how we can make the community better way back then. I appreciate that. So what's interesting right now is that if I were standing here as the pastor, I'd look out in the audience and I would see a somber looking crowd. And I would think about, well, here's my sermon today, Lord, and what would you want me to tell them to make them laugh, to smile, and to look a little bit cheerier than what I see right now? And they still look a little somber. This is a good place to laugh at, right? But I am excited to be here. I've been asked to come and share just a few comments. I'm joined today by Tanya Gibbons, who's been a part of our team since day one. She still works in the office there and continues to help meet the needs of our citizens as we grow the city of Augusta collectively together with those of you in the room. So, do y'all want to start with questions first or speech first? I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I am excited about where we are. 2019 has already begun as an amazing year for the city of Augusta. Not only have we seen tremendous growth, economic growth, but there's been some development as well in our community over the last 4 years. But today, I've got a unique opportunity to talk about where we are while looking forward to where we're going. And the only way we're able to get there is through stronger collaborations, many of which I see in the room today. I also see our sheriff in the room. Thank you for your leadership in our community and what you're doing, particularly in terms of making sure you're providing for the health, welfare, and safety of our citizens. This is a time for us to celebrate. Augusta, we've got a lot to celebrate. When you again think about what's happening in our region, and Augusta continues to lead the region from an economic growth and development perspective. But when you think about what's happening in our region that our economy is driving, that has national and in some instances international implications, that's stuff that you all in this room can be proud of. And yes, cyber is certainly playing a major role in that conversation, but it's always what we cannot forget, and that's the issues of medicine and manufacturing as well, not just the military. When you think about our 3M economy that now has layered on top of it cyber and innovation and technology, Augusta certainly is poised in a position to be a leader, not just in the state, but quite frankly in this nation. Let me give you a few facts as it relates to the challenges ahead. We know that there's a tremendous opportunity, but maybe many of you in this room did not know this, but here's an interesting fact that I had an opportunity to be exposed to on just this past weekend while I was at the Georgia Conservative Board meeting. Of 159 counties in the state of Georgia, there are 6 counties that are driving Georgia's economy. Richmond is one of those 6 counties. I want you to think about that for a moment. 159 counties, but in terms of counties that are driving the economy of the state of Georgia, there are only 6. We happen to be one of those 6 counties. I might also add that currently we're listed as number 137 in best places for business and careers. I'm not much for a whole bunch of facts. Yes, I love math. That's what we do at Georgia Tech. But let me bring that into perspective. 137 in the nation in terms of best places for business and careers. I want you to think about that. 159 counties in the state of Georgia, 535 plus municipalities. So that number would be nice if it were just Georgia, but that number is in the country. 137 in terms of best places for careers and business. Why is that important? It's important for the next things that I'm about to say that I think our community can be extremely proud of in terms of where we are. We heard at the top of this year that the state of Georgia, in terms of our economy, that Augusta, Aiken, our metropolitan statistical area, and that little place in Gainesville, also that our economy will outpace the states, and in fact will outperform the overall U.S. economy this year. Now, for those of you who like going out, I just heard George mention the golf tournaments. is going to take place here in a couple of weeks. We haven't had occasion to go out and play much golf. But I think when you look at the economy of Augusta and our forecast, it calls for sunny skies in 2019, Georgia. So you can write that down. That's a good one. In 2019, we expect the highest job growth in the state to be right here. I want you to think about it. So long, for many, many years, we talked about Augusta. We heard people talk about and refer to us as disgusting. Heard people refer to our community in terms of the potential, but we've moved beyond the place of potential to truly being a community of opportunity. And that's phenomenal. A community of opportunity for all of our citizens to be a part of. So where are we going? As Augusta, we can no longer meet the demands of a growing city by acting alone, just as the Georgia Cyber Innovation and Training Center here could be completed when you're sold by the state of Georgia. That was a collaborative partnership between the city, the state, university, and a host of other partners to make that possible for us to be able to complete that in 1 year's time. Well, the same holds true as we look and forecast where we're going as a city. No single person can solve the parking management challenges that we face in Augusta for decades. Many of you may be aware of the fact that we convened a task force of local business leaders, city staff, and community partners that presented recommendations to the full commission. We did not go back and conduct a study because we had a host of those already on the table. And so what you're going to see as we move forward with implementation, we've already reached out to private sector partners to lead that effort. But in the second quarter of this year, we anticipate the first phase of implementation. So as you look at the Augusta that you see, particularly in terms of downtown, it will be different than what we've always been accustomed to. I cannot tell you the number of sidebar conversations that I've had just in the last week of where folks have said, Mayor, are we really going to do it this time? Are we really going to do it this time? And so let's talk about parking. We do not anticipate and look forward to parking meters being scattered all over downtown. That's not the approach that this parking task force. In fact, I think we've got Brian back here. He had Brian Downs from this team from Augusta tomorrow, who was a part of this conversation as well. And so that's something that we can all look forward to and we can be extremely proud of. It's an opportunity for us to collaboratively work together in our community. And so you'll see a great deal of momentum and activity towards that as we move into the second quarter of this year, with an anticipation that by the end of July, you'll see the first phase of implementation from a parking management perspective. We've got a lot more work to do, and I want to mention just a few other things and my highlights today, and that is the new Savannah Bluff Locking. I don't know how many of you were in attendance on last night, but as I've shared over the last several months, that's perhaps our city's most significant exit symbol. When you think about the river and what it provides us from a water supply perspective, recreational perspective, not just health and overall economy perspective, when we look at what has been proposed by the Army Corps of Engineers, for those of you who have an opportunity to enjoy the river, whether you're kayak, jet skiing, or fishing, or for those of you who are Ironman makers swimming in the river, those things are being jeopardized. And they will come into question if we move forward with the plan that has currently been proposed. I'm pleased to report today that all of our partner cities, North Augusta, Aiken County, and our partners in Columbia County as well, have all adopted the same resolution, where as a community, we're speaking with one voice around a preferred option that will not only allow us to retain the dam or repair it and to maintain those opportunities that we have from a water supply, a navigation perspective, and of course, the pool at a level that's consistent with those things that we've been enjoying for many, many years as we track towards the 60-day comment period of that. Whether it's going to the Chamber's website, we're going to convene the city's own public hearing. We didn't have a public hearing yesterday. I thought it was more like a reception where they received people to come and see pretty pictures and write some things down, but we're going to actually have a public hearing. We're going to do that at the municipal building, where we'll have transcribed court reporters. We'll be able to transcribe the comments, and we'll be able to send that in as a community, and that includes our partners in North Augusta as well. That's extremely important to us, and I believe that that concerns every one of you in the room. Again, our regional partners, Bob Pettit, Rick Osmond of Aiken, Doug Duncan of Columbia County, and a host of others have joined us in that effort. And I'll mention one more thing that we are actively working on. In communities like Augusta, all across the state of Georgia, and certainly all across America, we're dealing with the issue of blight. There are some 3,500 pieces of property in and around downtown, and for several years we've had stop-starts. What we did at the fall of last year, we convened a group called the Joint Collaboration Committee, and that's an internal group of partners and some private sector partners as well, where we're taking a corridor along 15th Street from MLK and 15th Street all the way to the medical district, where we're going to come in and clean up that target area, taking advantage of properties that are there. Our sheriff's agency, they're working collaboratively with us, the marshal's office. All of the city entities are working with us to take a concerted effort along what we believe to be one of the major windows into the city of Augusta, along 15th Street, where we have a transportation project that will take place here in the summer. But we'll let that's the TIA project along 15th Street. It's about a $22 million project, and that gives us a unique opportunity to truly change the face of what people see as they come into downtown, and in particular in the medical district. So if you travel along 15th Street from MLK all the way over to the backside of Butte Road, where we refer to as popular Clay Streets, there's a major effort that's underway right now to not only assess the properties, to identify what things need to happen. We're going to put in a new overlay district that will allow us to bring private sector partners to the table to be able to meet needs from a housing perspective, from a retail and commercial perspective as well. These are things that we've not done before in the city of Augusta, but they give us a unique opportunity to be able to grow and to move our city forward in a way that perhaps we've not done, and in particular around the areas of vacant and abandoned properties. These are things that are going on in our city today. I'm pleased also to report that unemployment is at 4% now and continuing to drop. That means that people can go to work if they want to work, and that's certainly a challenge, which is why we're proud of the institutions of higher learning and our technical schools in the community that we have available to us that allow us to continue to meet the needs of a growing and expanding workforce. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause, and I want to just take questions. That's what I want. I want to hear what's on your mind. All right, yes, sir. Would you tell me?
I'd like to ask you a question regarding the river. This river keeper, she's the one that started all this by suing the Port Authority about the Savannah River Harbor District. Why does the city provide her office space down Presco's Drive? I mean, that's kind of ridiculous.
Legislature, we would always say the gentleman knows the way he speaks. That's a true statement. It's a challenge when we look at our community and what the gentleman is referring to in 2013. There was a series of 5 entities to include the Savannah River Keeper, South Carolina DHEC, South Carolina DNR, and a host of others, 5 in total, who came together around the Savannah Harbor expansion project and decided that they were going to sue. They sued for a substantial amount of money, and that put in peril the new Savannah Bluff locking dam. Now, it's not just that issue singularly, but rather that's one of the more significant issues. And as they reached settlement, part of the conversation was around this issue of what happens with what we refer to as the locking dam today, and how that will be coupled with the Savannah Harbor expansion project. I don't want to sound like an engineer, but I'm going to sound like an engineer. The reality of it is, those entities, to include the Savannah River Keeper, came up with this fanciful notion that there's a fish called the short-nosed sturgeon, and then there's the Atlantic sturgeon. For those of us country folks who have fished above and below the dam like me, I, to this day, have not seen a short nose sturgeon. To this day, I have. And I don't have an electrocution device where I can shock fish. Maybe I should get an investment in one of those instead of a Chevy Tahoe. So that right there is a major issue. We're having a conversation about the future of communities that make up an MSA of 600,000 plus people around this issue of short-nosed sturgeon. And part of that conversation is that because of the inner harbor deepening, there's increased salinity in the Savannah River in the inner harbor portion, which is why the Corps spent $100 million on speed cones for dissolved oxygen, which is why, because of that increased salinity, and this is the Corps reports that they wrote this, you go to their websites and see this, that more salt will travel upstream. I'm not a hydrologist, I'm not a civil engineer, I'm an electrical engineer, and I know how current flows. I know how water flows. It doesn't flow up, it flows down. So I'm not buying into that. But your point is very valid. And I know I didn't answer his question, but that's all.